Hi and welcome. This is my review of The Mandolorian Season 3. Yes, The Mandalorian, the flagship show of Disney. Wow. This is what I got to say after watching it. I thought it was amazing. The show starts out in the first episode with a bang where Mando rescues the remnants of his clan from, I don't know, the best way to talk about it is a giant alligator or a dinosaur or whatever, and sets himself on a quest to, well, rejoin his clan because he had taken off his helmet and all of that. He is thought to be an outsider, and so he's going to go back to Mandalore and bathe in the waters to be able to put his helmet back on and be part of his clan again. And that's how the show starts out. He rescues all of his clan from monsters and, does his hero stuff because, well, he's the Mandalorian. In all this process, on his way back to Mandalore, he basically tries to get IG-11 rebuilt, but can't do it because, well, they don't have the parts because he's too old, whatever. And so they can't restore him. And, he goes to Carl Weathers' planet and does this. And while he's on Carl Weathers' planet, he does his best Clint Eastwood imitation, and he takes on a bunch of pirates and, outdraws them in a draw. It's pretty awesome. Very, very cowboyish. And to me, this whole show is a Western in space. I mean, that's what it is. The Mando is Clint Eastwood or Steve McQueen. For those of you that have ever seen Wanted, Dead or Alive, it's exactly about this. It's a guy that in the Old West that's a bounty hunter and hunts people down. And that's what Mando is. Anyway, so on his quest, he helps Carl Weathers get rid of these pirates, tries to rebuild IG-11 but can't, and so takes another robot with him to Mandalore to explore. He visits Bo-Katan, who tells him where to find the waters, and so he goes there. And what happens in this season is really kind of interesting. We see Bo-Katan and him, the Mando, coming together. Now, they don't explicitly show them doing anything together, but this season, it's quite obvious that there is some love going on there between him and Bo-Katan and Grogu. And so it's really amazing that what happens during this season. It's like they become a family unit. And it's kind of wild. Anyway, Bo-Katan comes because Grogu goes and gets her because, well, the Mando gets in trouble while he's bathing in the water, trying to bathe in the waters. He gets attacked by some monster, some strange-looking cyborg monster, and Grogu goes and gets Bo-Katan to come and help him get away from the monster. She helps destroy the monster, and so she helps free both her and Grogu. Help free Mando from the monster. Now, I mean, there's got to be some love there for a woman to fly, from one moon to the planet to come and save you. So, right off the bat, it's quite obvious that she really likes Din Djarin. Otherwise, she would never save him. And we can see, as the show goes on, there are some serious stuff where they are basically a family unit as they are hanging out together all the time. And we can see right in here they got that kind of look between each other of, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife with the kid along for the ride. So it really, this season is really about this cohesion between these three characters, which is really kind of interesting. I can tell you, I watched this show not by myself. I watch it with my kids. And from a child's perspective, they all love this show. It's, I've seen other people online try to trash this show and stuff like that, which I don't even understand because, frankly, I think it's one of the best shows, period. Certainly better than the horrible Picard show that's on Paramount Plus. But I just find it amazing. So yeah, so there's this whole love. There's IG-11 trying to be rebuilt, and so he gets rescued. Bo-Katan sees the mythosaur in the waters under Mandalore. Okay, and so because Bo-Katan, as we know, is this basically rejected leader because she lost the Darksaber and all of that, and so we explore all of that. And of course, we know Mando has the Darksaber. Now, I thought the show was going to take a different direction where we have him and Bo-Katan coming together and him being the king. But I guess not. We didn't go in that direction. It actually took another direction that I thought was possible. Very possible, because once again, he's Clint Eastwood, he's Steve McQueen. So he's probably not going to be tied down. And so we see that. Yeah, they're together and stuff, and him and Grogu. Grogu gets to be inside of IG-11. They give him a new body so he can walk around and do stuff. But what we do see during this season is an emergence of Grogu and his powers. Slowly but surely, his Jedi powers start to come into being. And he can do some pretty cool things. And we see that this season is filled with incredible battle scenes where we have all the Mandalorians fighting together. So this season is about bringing together all the Mandalorians to retake Mandalore. And of course, Din Djarin is part of this because he's hanging out with, Bo-Katan, him and Bo-Katan being best buds, and Grogu. And so it's really what the season is about. And there are some surprising things that happen. There are great heroes in this. And the villain, again, is Moff Gideon. And so he is the villain. He returns. He has all clones of himself made. He has these new warriors that he has where he stole the Beskar from the Mandalorians, and they all of his Confederates have the Mandalorian armor now, and some other traits that he stole from other beings. And so he has these super warriors who are fighting the Mandalorians. He occupies Mandalore, hidden, with a hidden secret base. And so the Mandalorians have to fight him and his troops to regain Mandalore. And so this, there's this great battle that takes place. The final 2 episodes of the series, basically you could take it as one episode, with great battle scenes, heroics, unbelievable heroics in it. Mando and Bo-Katan fight together to free Mandalore and Grogu. And one of the best scenes in the finale, a really incredible scene that I actually anticipated happening because I had seen this done before in one of the cartoons I was watching with my kids. It's the cartoon with Ezra in it, and his master does this. Same thing, Grogu. How should I put the scene? Okay, so this is in the finale. They're fighting, and a Mandalorian took over one of the Empire's cruisers, and so they've been using it, and so they crash it into Moff Gideon's base on Mandalore. And so when this happens, Bo-Katan and Mando and Grogu are just saw as this ship crashes, see Moff Gideon incinerated, and so the explosion is coming toward them, and so it is Grogu who's standing in the middle of them, who uses the Force to enclose them in a force field to keep all of the fire and explosive radiation, whatever, out. And so he saves both of them. He saves his mother and his father figure. It's pretty awesome. What a finish. Just the whole last two episodes are fantastic. If you love Star Wars, and I mean if you love Star Wars, the originals, you can see in this show that this keeps true to Star Wars, where we have what? The love of three main characters is held together. And in this case, it's Bo-Katan, it is Mando, and it is Grogu. And of course, they have their other friends, like, Carl Weathers is one of their friends, and other people in the Republic are their friends. But this goes back to Luke, right, Leia, and Han. And so you have these three characters now that are together. And I thought it was really cool. To me, that's what it was reminiscent of. And I was like, wow, this really is Star Wars. And this really is the best show on Disney Plus. I can see why this is their flagship. And this is, the best show there. I was actually sad to see Moff Gideon get incinerated, if he is incinerated truly. Because I think he's a really good... I mean, I like Giancarlo Esposito. I think he's a great actor, for starters. And I'm actually sad to see him go. I'd rather see him be evil, play this part and be, truly evil. I think that would be awesome. By the way, the Dark Saber... let me go over what happens in this season with the Dark Saber. Mando gives the Dark Saber to Bo-Katan. He doesn't want it, which we knew from the previous season. He didn't want it. He didn't want it when he took it from Moff Gideon. He's not that kind of person. He's Clint Eastwood, once again. He's Steve McQueen. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be the leader of Mandalore. He doesn't want that mantle. He is the hero, sort of anti-hero, and so he plays that part. He gives it to her and makes up an excuse why she should have it. Well, she really wanted it in battle, blah, blah, blah. But what happens in the end, Moff Gideon destroys the Dark Saber. So it's held by no one. And so that opens up some interesting questions in the whole show. So we don't know what happens or what's going to happen in the future. But the show is really set up really cool. Mandalore is restored, and they restart the what do they call it? The Central Forge or whatever on Mandalorian. Remember, I watched this with my kids, so which adds a dimension to it. I think you really need to watch this show with children, or at least with other people. Whether that's if you could watch it with a group of friends or whatever, because I think having younger people watch it with you really makes it what it is. I mean, I remember watching Star Wars when I was a child, having all my friends with me, and so I think it holds true to Star Wars. The end is he gets what he is, right? He takes Grogu as his son, as his apprentice. He tells the blacksmith is what I call her, the lady that controls the forge. I call her the blacksmith. So, and he's taking her, Grogu, as his son, his apprentice, and he's his sponsor. And so he goes to Carl Weathers' planet and gets his land. Even though he restores Mandalore, and he's a Mandalorian, right? And he's in with Bo-Katan, he chooses to go to, another planet, get his plot of land at his house, sit on the front porch and watch his kid play. Kind of like the American Dream, huh? What a great show. And what a great ending. That's what I can say. What do I give this show? 4.5. If you've never seen it before, watch the first 2 seasons, then watch the third. If you don't agree with me, let me know what you think. I thought the show was fantastic. If you take it as an entire season and not try to look at it episode by episode, and actually review the whole season, you'll see it's a movie. And all of the parts fit together in the end. And yes, even IG-11, by the way, is restored at the end. And he ends up being the sheriff for Carl Weathers' planet. Too funny, huh? All the ties are put together and tied off for the next season. Unbelievable. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. Tell your friends about it and have them subscribe. Hit the like button. Bye-bye.